Okay, y'all, real quick. So I'm just hearing that Trump got shot in his face. OMG. Somebody shot him. His face was bleeding. He was being taken down off the stage. I understand you not liking people. I understand you being in a different political party. But you literally tried to shoot this man in his head. You really tried to do that? Like, do you guys realize that this has not happened since Martin Luther King? Do you realize how many years that's been? Because even though someone may not like you, we still have to follow the rules of the land. We still have to, respect each other, and we still have to abide by the law. You literally went to a rally of people and did this. What about your family? So you don't care nothing about your family, huh? That is so terrible. How terrible to do that. I do not stand with this. I don't stand for that. That was wrong. And his justice that he received from doing that was fair. It was quick, immediate, and fair. And that was wrong. And I hope that fellow Americans would not act in this manner. But here's the video.
Friends. It was very scary, but it was my understanding that they got the shooter. But that really doesn't make a difference because it was just scary.
Yeah, that's our understanding is the shooter is deceased, and again, one of the spectators as well, and one critically hurt, a spectator, and the former president is going to be okay. But you bring up a point I think we will all be talking about, and that is, of course, we don't know what the motivation was for this, but it certainly comes at a time that we are all keenly aware of the deep divisions and the risk of political violence. Is it something you even thought about as you set out to attend this rally tonight?
To be honest with you, no, not at all. I guess I know that there's political unrest in the country. But in no way did I think that this would happen. And what concerns me more is it's not only political, but, there are innocent people here. And look what happened. And it should just never happen in our country. It really should not.
Your point is certainly well taken. I know you're with the DA's office there. Do you have any special insight into how the investigation is proceeding?
Well, I know that I'm seeing a lot of news trucks around here. I know that there were tons of Secret Service here. And again, I guess for me, I just question how somebody got through security, or where this person was in a field that somebody wasn't looking after them. And I guess that's just me and from my perspective of what I do.
Yeah. All right, Terry, thank you very much. As we continue to look at some of the pictures of the aftermath, we've shown you some of the still photos as well of people crouched down for safety, not sure at that moment where the threat was coming from. I want to tell you, we are hearing that we will hear from the president. We read his statement a few minutes ago. We will hear from President Biden at some point this evening. We don't have a firm time on that, but we'll keep you honest and let you know when we know more about that. In the meantime, let me bring in our senior Washington correspondent, Hallie Jackson. Hallie, we're all shocked and certainly saddened over the loss of life here and the injuries, and we're certainly grateful that the former president is okay. But this is going to be a very tough conversation in the weeks coming forward, one we've had on different levels before. Share your thoughts, if you would.
Yeah, and none of it, of course, taking away, Lester, from, as you described, the urgency and frankly, the devastation of this moment, given what we have now learned about what has happened at this rally in Butler, Pennsylvania. I can tell you that our team here at NBC News is out to a myriad of campaign sources close to former President Trump. And obviously the latest that we've heard, and you've been reporting this, is that he is okay. He is, in the words of a spokesperson, fine and being looked at. We are seeking more information. I can also tell you that based on a message to staff obtained by our colleagues here at NBC, Alan Smith and Matt Dixon. A top campaign official is telling staff members that everything is okay, that we have no details to share at this time, but saying they'll follow up soon with more information. They are directing staff members to not speak with members of the media. They want what they describe as a total lockdown here. They add that your personal safety is of the utmost importance here. To pray, remain vigilant, and be strong. That is the messaging now, according to NBC News, that Trump campaign staff members are getting from the top, as there is just, it is always, of course, it is chaotic in the moments after something like this happens. And it's also, I think, another reason to be extraordinarily careful in what and how we report what we know has occurred here in what is just a historic day here in the United States, Lester.
Yeah, and then, of course, Hallie, we are here on the weekend before the Republican National Convention. Obviously, there will be some changes. We don't know what is in effect, but we're hitting primetime campaign season now.
Yeah, we sure are, right? And this is a moment where everybody begins to pay attention, especially considering the start of the convention. I mean, think about it, Lester, not looking at the time here just after 8 o'clock Eastern, not maybe 3+ hours ago. You know, the biggest story that I think most campaign reporters were chasing was who would Donald Trump pick to be his running mate. That was sort of much of the attention here on this rally in Butler, Pennsylvania. The conversation has clearly and necessarily changed very dramatically since then. I think one of the questions moving forward is going to be the movements of former President Trump. How long is he going to remain at the medical facility where he's at now? Where will he head after that? Does he still plan to be at the Republican National Convention starting on Monday? Obviously, that kicks off in Milwaukee with the expectation that at some point between now and of course, next week, he would announce his vice presidential pick. That is obviously taking a back seat to the immediate question of his own health and safety, as he is the presumptive Republican nominee here. And we are going to try to get some answers to those questions just as soon as we can, Lester.
All right, Hallie, we'll ask you to stand by. Thanks. Let me bring in Kristen Welker, moderator of Meet the Press. She's in Washington. Kristen, you're learning a little more from the Biden campaign, their immediate reaction to this.
Lester, we are, and our Monica Alba, who covers the Biden campaign, has this reporting that according to a campaign official, the Biden campaign is pausing all outbound communications and working to pull down our television ads as quickly as possible. And Lester, this underscores part of the conversation we were having earlier, which is that this is a moment that brings the country together in shock, in condemnation for this political violence. We are hearing from all quarters of the political universe, including some of those who have been quite critical of former President Trump. Liz Cheney, for example, saying the reports of the shooting in Pennsylvania are horrifying. Violence of any kind has no place in American politics. We are grateful for the reaction of the Secret Service and other law enforcement and pray for the former president and all those injured. Similar messages from former President George W. Bush, House Speaker Mike Johnson, and on, Lester. And it does come on the eve of the Republican National Convention. Former President Trump, his campaign apparatus, Republicans all over the country poised to go to Milwaukee to officially nominate former President Trump as their party's nominee. And as Hallie was just saying, we anticipated and we were working on trying to determine who the former president would pick to serve as his vice presidential nominee. And now, of course, the focus has shifted